On this 2020 to 2025 F250 with the 7.3 gas engine, P0455 points to an EVAP system large leak fault. In plain terms, the PCM may be seeing that the fuel vapor system cannot hold the pressure or vacuum pattern it expects. The truck may drive normally, and the driver may only notice the check engine light. Possible fault areas can include the fuel cap or capless filler inlet, EVAP hoses and vapor lines, the filler pipe or tank area, the FTP sensor signal, and purge or vent valve operation. Treat this like a leak and command response diagnosis. Prove the basic EVAP test path first, then work from the filler area into sensor response, purge operation, smoke testing, and final pressure verification. Before opening fuel-related parts of the system, handle fuel and vapors carefully, control spills, and relieve fuel system pressure when working on fuel tubes or fuel system components. If you are using the EVAP leak detector with onboard nitrogen generator 218-522C or an equivalent unit, the fuel level must be less than 85% full. Do not apply smoke to the EVAP leak detection control module. Also, do not rely on soap solution around the fuel cap or capless filler inlet, and do not use a hydrocarbon analyzer as the leak finding method here. During smoke work, remember that the smoke and airflow will not pass through liquid fuel, and liquid fuel may be sitting in the filler pipe. Start with the basic system checks, then run the scan tool EVAP test. Use the COO EVAP leak test where that applies, or the PCM evaporative emission system test for the other applications. If that scan tool test is not available on the vehicle, keep moving through the diagnostic path instead of stopping there. Next, check for codes. If other EVAP codes are present, check what they mean first and follow the appropriate routing. For P0455, this path continues into the visual inspection. Now do the EVAP system visual inspection. Look over the capless fuel tank filler pipe or fuel cap, the EVAP lines, and the hoses for damage or incorrect connections. Then run the scan tool CPV check if it is available. If you find a problem here, repair it as needed, clear the PCM codes, repeat the self-test, and rerun the EVAP system test. If no concern shows up, P0455 continues to the filler cap or capless filler inlet check. At the filler area, inspect it before disturbing anything. If the truck has a fuel cap, make sure the cap is not missing, loose, or damaged, and make sure the tether is visible and free to move. If it has a capless filler pipe, inspect the inlet for debris that can keep the seal from closing and check the filler pipe for damage. On the capless setup, install and remove the supplemental fueling adapter 5 times to help clear debris from the seal, then repeat the test. Run the CPV check if the scan tool supports it. If you find a concern, repair it as needed and use the pressure leak verification path. If you do not find a concern, move on to the rest of the EVAP inspection. With the ignition off, inspect for restrictions or damage in the vapor path. Check for a restricted vacuum hose between the EVAP canister purge valve and the intake manifold, a restricted fuel vapor tube between the purge valve and the leak detection control module if equipped, a damaged fuel filler pipe, and a damaged fuel tank. If anything is found, repair it as needed. Run the PCM evaporative emission system test, clear the PCM codes, and repeat the self-test. If nothing is found, go to the FTP sensor voltage check. For the FTP check, open the fuel system to atmosphere at the filler. On a capless filler, install the supplemental refueling adapter. On the other setup, remove the fuel cap. Turn the ignition on, go into the PCM data, and watch the FTP VPID. Use the range that applies to the application, between 1,409–1,54 volts for the listed applications, or between 2,129 volts for all others. If the FTP reading is in range, keep going to the purge valve functional test. If it is not in range, this path supports installing a new FTP sensor, then repeating and verifying the test, followed by the smoke machine phase 1 leak verification pressure test. Next, test whether the purge valve actually opens and affects the system. With the ignition off, reinstall the fuel cap or remove the supplemental refueling adapter. Start the engine. Command the EVAP canister vent valve closed by commanding the EVAP PID to on, which is 100% duty cycle. Watch FTPV, then command the EVAP PID open in steps up to 100%. You are looking for the FTP PID to decrease, the engine RPM to change, or the engine to stall. Any of those indicates the purge valve is opening. If that response is present, move to the leak test equipment setup. If it is not present, this path supports installing a new EVAP canister purge valve, repeating and verifying the test, and then performing the Phase 1 leak verification pressure test. With the ignition off, connect the EVAP leak detector with onboard nitrogen generator 218-522C or an equivalent unit. Disconnect the fuel vapor to EVAP canister line at the EVAP canister purge valve and connect a suitable hose adapter to that fuel vapor line connection. Once the hookup is complete, use the smoke test for leak detection, or go to the pressure test when you are verifying a leak repair. If the hookup is not complete, pause and follow the tool maker's setup help before guessing at the test results. For smoke leak detection, remove the fuel cap or install the supplemental refueling adapter. Connect the smoke supply hose to the adapter, set the leak detector to smoke, turn the ignition on, and command the EVAP canister vent valve closed with EVAP on at 100% duty cycle. Start the smoke supply and first make sure the connection at the fuel vapor line near the purge valve is not leaking. If smoke does not come out of the fuel tank filler pipe after the system is pressurized, command the vent valve open. Once smoke is seen at the vent valve, command the vent valve closed again. When smoke exits the filler pipe, reinstall the fuel cap or remove the supplemental refueling adapter, then keep applying smoke. Use a halogen spotlight along the EVAP path and look for smoke leaving the system. Check the EVAP hoses, purge valve, vent valve, canister, fuel tank, filler pipe, tank area, and the filler cap or capless inlet. Wiggle components and connections while you watch. If smoke is not found, visually inspect the filler pipe and filler inlet area because smoke under pressure may not reach a leak between the check valve and the cap or capless inlet. If you locate the leak, repair it as needed, reconnect anything disconnected, run the EVAP system test, and continue to pressure verification. If you do not locate a leak, reconnect the disconnected components and continue to the Phase 1 pressure verification test. For the Phase 1 leak verification pressure test, calibrate the flow meter using the 0.20 standard. Connect the supply hose to the vehicle through the suitable adapter, set the leak detector to the 0.20 standard, turn the ignition on, and command the EVAP canister vent valve closed with EVAP on at 100% duty cycle. Start the pressure supply. The ball in the flow meter should be at the top while the system is being pressurized. Keep pressurizing until the ball stops descending, then compare the final ball position to the red pointer flag. Below the flag means the EVAP system passed the pressure test. Above the flag means the system still has an unacceptable leak. If it fails, go back to smoke leak detection. If it passes and the code you are working is P0455, continue to the purge valve leak test. For P0455, after the EVAP system passes the pressure leak verification, check the EVAP canister purge valve for leakage. Run the scan tool CPV check if it is available. If that test is not available, remove the purge valve, connect a suitable hose adapter to the fuel vapor to EVAP canister connection on the valve, connect the supply hose, and start the pressure supply. Let the flow meter ball settle, then compare it to the red pointer flag. Below the flag means the purge valve passed the pressure test. Above the flag means the purge valve has an unacceptable leak. If it passes, clear the PCM codes and repeat the self-test. If it fails, this path supports installing a new EVAP canister purge valve, running the EVAP system test, clearing the PCM codes, and repeating the self-test. The takeaway is simple. On P0455, do not jump straight to parts. Prove the filler seal, prove the FTP signal, prove purge operation, find or rule out the leak with smoke, then verify the repair with pressure testing. For more diagnostic training, visit stepdiagnostics.com.